Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today is another exciting video for me. It is a trying out a new product. We are going to be doing a first impressions on the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. I've been hearing really great things about this, so if you want to see how the first impressions went and what I thought, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so we are going to be jumping into the first impressions portion of this video featuring the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour wear foundation. I'm super excited about this because honestly I've been wanting to try out like a new drugstore foundation because pretty much I think every foundation that I use is high-end, and I've been wanting to find something good at the drugstore, but I'm always so hesitant, and a lot of times when I look at reviews online, they're usually generally not like super stellar, and I'm pretty picky with foundation, so that's why I usually don't go for a drugstore. I end up always sticking with high-end, even though a lot of high-end ones don't work for me either. So anyway, I've been hearing really great things about this foundation, so I'm super excited to try it out, and I really hope that it's going to work for me. I'm going to just stick with priming my skin with products that I know definitely work. I'm not trying anything new. So anyway, we are going to just jump right into this first impressions. I'm going to be using my Marc Jacobs primer all over the face, and then I'll be using my Fenty Beauty, I think this is the Pro Filter. Pro Filter. This primer in like the T-zone area. I know this works good for me. This works too, so that's what we're going to stick with. And I'm just going to do what I always do, like in regards to the process that I'm going to use, just because I feel like in a video, even if I'm doing a first impressions, I want to use the product how I would every day, because if it's not how I'm gonna do it, then it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go in with my concealer first. That's what I always do. I did pick up this one recently. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I have also heard like really good things about this for a long time, and I was in Ulta and I just kind of needed it because I didn't have any of my makeup with me, and I was at my boyfriend's house and we were going out to dinner for a friend's birthday, and I really just wanted to have like a little bit of makeup on. I'm still trying to be like in a low buy, so I did pick this up though. It was pretty cheap. I forget exactly, but it's not expensive, and I've been using it for about a week now, actually exactly a week when I'm filming this, and I really like it so far. I mean, I really don't have any complaints. It doesn't really get too cakey or anything, and it covers the spots pretty well. Basically all week what I've been doing for work is I've just been, honestly, no primer, no nothing. I just put spot conceal a little bit, and I think it looks fine, and it covers very nicely. So I'm kind of excited to see how this looks like with other makeup on, just besides like eyeliner and stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this in the areas that I feel need concealing. I actually want to note that I have been like, I've been wearing this concealer throughout the week like I mentioned, and I have not been blending it out with like a damp sponge. I just honestly take the dry sponge and blend it out, and I think I like it better just simply for the coverage factor. Like as you can see, like it didn't cover this completely, but when I blend it out with the dry sponge, it does actually cover it pretty much. So I think the dry sponge is better. I don't like it so much with the brush. I think again, just the coverage isn't what I want it to be when I blend it out with a concealer brush. So I think dry sponge is how I prefer to blend out the, my concealer. So now we are going to go in with the star of the show, and that is the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. It does have SPF in it. It has SPF 25. I don't know exactly what the coverage is supposed to be. It says breathable, buildable coverage, up to 24-hour fresh complexion. So I don't think that this is matte, because I don't think I would have picked it up if it was, from what I was hearing in the videos. Even though I'm oily, matte foundations just do not work for me on their own, at least. I can usually mix them with like a dewier foundation and get it to work. Matte foundations just do not look good on my skin at all, so I usually try to stay away from those. But, and I wasn't really sure like on the color. I was between this shade, which is 405, and I think the other shade I was looking at was 415. It was either 415 or 420. I was looking at them in the store, and man, they were so similar in the bottle. The only thing I hate, that's another reason I don't tend to gravitate towards drugstore foundations is because you can't usually test them. At least my Ultas and my drugstores do not have testers of these. I picked this up at CVS, by the way, and you kind of just have to guess like with your shades, so that kind of is the only bummer. But this is like, I think the lightest one they had there. I don't know if this is the lightest shade they have altogether. I am pretty fair, so you know, I'd rather be a little bit too light than dark because I can always bronze the skin. So I'm just going to put like a pump of this on the back of my hand. And I do like the pump. It has like a nice groove for your finger. Oh, it's pretty liquidy. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to start there. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to start this half with, I'm going to test this half with the sponge, and if I don't like it, we'll move into the brush. It's definitely pretty lightweight. Like, I don't feel like I have a lot of foundation on the skin. I obviously still need to blend it, but already you can definitely see the coverage compared to this side. It totally evened out the skin tone. I don't think it's too light for me, honestly. I do think it works. It's kind of hard to tell, but I did use like that whole pump, which is a little bit different than how it usually goes for me for foundations. I usually don't use a whole pump of pretty much any foundation I have, but I don't mind that. For one, it's a drugstore foundation, so it's not too expensive, and also because, you know, it's just like a lighter, you saw how liquidy it was. It's a pretty light formula. Honestly, so far I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look too heavy or anything. Try to show you guys up close. Obviously you can see there's still spots showing through. I didn't go too heavy with it, and if you guys have watched any of my other videos where I talk about my face makeup, I don't like to go super heavy, so if I have a few things showing through, it doesn't bother me because then it tends to not look cakey at all, which is what I like. So I'm going to test the other side just for the fun of it with the brush method I've been liking, which is using my brush with a spray of the Smashbox primer water. And I'm going to need another pump on the back of my hand, obviously. And we will just dip in and blend. Okay, so looking at the two sides, I don't see like a ton of difference coverage wise, but I do think I like how it's sitting a little better on the sponge side. So I'm just kind of going to go and tap over everything and kind of just blend it all together. Now on camera it's looking super pale, and I think that's just because of my lighting, but honestly in person it's pretty spot on. Like, I don't know, on camera it does, I guess I look pretty pale in general on camera, but in person it doesn't look how it's showing up. It's showing up super pale on camera, and I think it's because of my lighting, but I'm filming this at night, so I can't really turn off my ring light so you guys can see it. Honestly, it doesn't really, I mean, it feels like the tiniest bit tacky, but I bet if I let it sit a little longer, that feeling will go away. You guys, I am actually super impressed by how this is looking on the skin for me. Like I said, it's not super full coverage, and I probably could build it, but I'm just liking it so much how it looks. I don't even know if I want to attempt that, just because I don't want to make it too cakey, especially since this area on me is what tends to get cakey. So honestly, I mean, this so far I have no complaints really. Like, I mean, I have a lot of dryness around my nose, more so than like I normally do. It all started like once I got sick in December, and it kind of has just been lingering, all that dryness. But I mean, it's not, I don't think it's clinging any worse than any of my other foundations that I like. So I guess what I'll do is I'm going to try to take, I have a little bit left on the back of my hand, so I'll take like a little bit more and try to cover up some of these spots and see how that looks. Alright, so I don't really think adding that extra really did much, like, coverage wise. I guess it did a little. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I'm actually pretty happy with it so far. So what we're gonna do is just do the rest of the face makeup. I'm not gonna do eyes in this video, but I'm going to set it with my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, which is a powder I know works for me. So I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush, and I only just very lightly set my face. And honestly, you might even be able to get away with not setting this. I mean, it didn't feel super tacky, but I always just set it a little bit. I think it does help with the oiliness of my skin throughout the day. Don't you see how it looks with that powder added? I think the forehead area looks really good. Pores look pretty good around the nose. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this so far, and it honestly doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. And I used like 2 pumps, or like, I guess they were kind of like 3/4 pumps. So I guess you could say a pump and a half to do my whole face. And it doesn't feel like I'm really wearing anything at all. Honestly, this makes my NARS and Tarte combo feel kind of heavy compared to how this is feeling. So let's go ahead and bronze. I'm using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I definitely need to add some like color to my face because I'm super pale. I think it's looking pretty decent. I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter. I'm just going to mix both of these shades and use that as my highlight. I love that highlighter. Alright, so now I just want to mist my face so that everything kind of like sinks in. Alright, so let me take another look now that my setting spray has been set. Honestly, guys, I'm pretty happy with how it looks, and I think too the makeup usually looks a little better once it's had some time to like warm up on your skin. This is still pretty freshly applied, but overall I'm liking it so far. I don't want to say that it's like better than the YSL All-in-One Glow, but they're kind of different. This is like an actual foundation. I don't know if the YSL Glow, let me check. So yeah, the YSL All-in-One Glow does not actually say foundation on it. It just says Fresh Dewy Makeup Natural Medium Coverage. So this is not marketed as a foundation, whereas this is, so I would expect them to be a little bit different. I do like this one because of that glow. This one, it's not that it's super matte or anything, but it definitely doesn't feel too tacky. I think the products that I put on blended out nicely. It looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't complain given like how my actual skin is. Like, you can only blame the product on so much. Like, your actual skin does play a part, and my skin does have some issues, so of course it's not going to look exactly perfect. I don't have perfect skin, but I do think this is pretty nice. So for the first impression, I am liking this. I'm gonna have to play around with it a little more, play around with like, you know, applications and different products and stuff, and see how I like it, you know, with different things, and see how it kind of wears. But I will definitely update you guys in a different video. I probably will just tell you guys in like a different tutorial or something how I'm feeling about this. But I think for the price, I mean, you really can't beat it. I'm gonna try to zoom you guys in so you can see a little better. So this is like my dryness. This is not the fault of the foundation. I've been dealing with a lot of dryness, but as you guys can see, like, the pore area doesn't look terrible. Forehead looks really good, actually. Like, it doesn't look too bad in this area. I do have some dryness around this issue, so again, not the foundation, but I do think it looks pretty good overall. Alright guys, so that is kind of it for this first impressions. I was honestly not expecting to like this as much as I do so far. I hope that I continue to like it, and when I play with it more, that I will still feel the same, because this doesn't feel like I'm wearing any makeup at all, and I love that. I hate when you can feel the makeup. So that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this first impressions, and I'll be sure to do a follow-up and let you know how I'm liking this. But honestly, I can usually tell right away if I'm gonna like a foundation or not, and the fact that I kind of do like this one so far is a good sign. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you go so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.